Hello, welcome. I hope you're enjoying 5 Day to Fabulous Summit and welcome to my session. It's all about how to build a thriving nature-inspired business. My name is Maggie Pertin. I'm a business and leadership coach, and I help service-based entrepreneurs grow thriving businesses by really empowering the business owners to become highly performing, creative, and effective leaders of their business CEO. And personally, I love nature. Actually, every time I do a meditation, a guided meditation of visualizations, and people ask, to put yourself in your favorite place or in a quiet space or imagine that, I always imagine a meadow, a sunny meadow on the mountains with big grass, flowers all around, and clear blue sky and so on. I definitely personally derive a lot of inspiration from nature. I incorporated that into my business, into my branding, and also use it to be a high performer. And that's what I want to teach you today. As a coach, I help my clients align their mindset, their skills, and the habits, high performance habits, so they can create a business that stands out and they live the life they want at the same time while making money they want. So today, that's what we're gonna do with nature inspired themes, okay? So 3 things we're gonna talk about today. First is me explaining to you how business works and how to build a thriving business with some nature inspiration. So just to put you in a right mindset. The second part is teaching you a little bit of skill of how to use your creativity and your love to nature to maybe stand out in the market, incorporate that in the business that's unique to you and that will attract your best clients. And then the third thing we'll talk about is about how to become a high performing business owner, leader of your business, and how to use nature to help you with that. All right, so let's get started. So how do we grow a thriving business? Let me explain with an analogy of a tree. There's beautiful trees behind me. I'm on Lake Erie. You might be hearing a little bit of water. And think about your business as a growing tree. Maybe a wonderful oak or a maple, since we're in Canada, or at least I'm in Canada. And when you think about a tree, the way it starts growing, it always starts with the roots, right? It has to have some foundational root system for then the stem to come out and then build the beautiful trunk and then the branches and trees, right? So it always starts with the roots. Now, the roots don't have to be deep right away, or the system of the roots doesn't have to be complex right in the beginning. It just needs to be enough for the tree to get the nutrients and start growing. And then with the years, the roots spread, they become more complex, go deeper. So it allows the tree to build a bigger trunk, more branches, more leaves, and so on, okay? So now in your business, what are the roots? The roots are really your foundation as the CEO and the leader. And you are what is important to you. What are your values as a human being, and what are the values that you would bring towards your business? Okay, what is also a mission, the impact you want to make with your business? Okay, so your ideas, your mindset, and also your skills. Right? In order to grow a thriving business, you need to develop business skills, be strategic, think how you stand out, and so on. So as you grow your skills, you come up with better ideas. You see more opportunities. You know how to create strategies to reach to those opportunities. Okay? So the roots of your business is really you as the leader. When you grow, your business can grow alongside with you. It will never grow ahead of you, right? So roots first, then the stem and so on. Now, we're moving to the trunk, okay? So we have the foundation And then the trunk, coming from the beginning up to the end, this is really the vision for your business. So short term, long term, okay, what do I want to accomplish in the next 5 years? What do I want to accomplish in a year, right? And how is what I'm going to do this year going to bring me closer to what I want to do in the next 5 years? It's also figuring out how you competitively stand out. And it all comes from the roots, it all comes from your values, from your mission, and so on. And think about the roots and trunk as a basis and foundation for your branding, okay? Very often, business owners confuse the branding to just logo or pretty colors or what we see visually. And the visual part of brand is just an extension. It's like a branch or leaves of the foundational part of any brand that is more mission, vision, values, who are our clients, how we competitively stand out, and so on. And all that, who are our clients? How do we serve them, right? What are our services? What are our offers? How are we different from all the other trees in the forest? This is the trunk, right? This is again what creates the stability for your business, for the trees. Now, as we move up and we get to the branches and leaves, think about those as the strategies you choose to achieve what you want to achieve, to create the goals that you want, the vision, impact the clients. And then the leaves and the smaller branches as the actions, right? So the strategies are like a theory. This is what I think is gonna grow my business. And then I take action. So I sprout more branches. And then the leaves and the fruits are really the results you create. And when you also think about the strategies or the actions or the results, those change, right? As our business grows, sometimes we have booming, we're, harvesting, right? The results of our actions. Sometimes we have slower months when just like a winter and so on. Sometimes we change colors, right? So the way we do things changes with how our business grows and how our business develops. So I hope that this analogy is helping you truly understand how business works. It's not that much different from nature. It can be a balanced thing, right? You can grow your business really successfully and you can thrive like a beautiful tree if you start from the proper foundation, right? You figure out how you stand out. You align your strategies with that and with your goals, and you embrace the process of growth, right? Things don't happen right away. Sometimes it takes time, and there's different ways, like even a tree to reach the light. Sometimes it needs to grow this way or that way. You can see some trees are slanted than the others because they're trying to reach the light. It's the same with your business. When you embrace it, you can truly thrive. Okay, let's move on to part number 2. Okay, so let's talk about how to build a unique business that stands out in the market and how to maybe incorporate nature into it, especially when you're a nature lover, right? Because that comes down to how you stand out in the market. It comes down to your creativity, the ideas you have to grow your business, to serve your clients, to what's different about you, and being clear on that. And that comes from being authentic in who you are as a person and who you are as the leader of your business. And there's 2 ways nature can help you with that. The first way is just provide space and allow you to ground yourself and calm your mind and give you time to just relax and open your brain for creativity. I think business is super creative because what's creativity? Creativity is coming up with the ideas, creating solutions, thinking about challenges you have in your business, or how to serve your clients better, right? Sometimes we think of creativity only in terms of being an artist, painting, and coming up with new whatever, like if you're words when you're writing, or maybe you are an actor and so on. But business people are creative too, right? They create services, they create solutions for their clients. So when you spend time in nature and you allow your brain to relax, to go away, and distance yourself from kind of day-to-day operational things going on and working in your business and serving your clients, that's when the best ideas come to your mind. So that's the first way. The second way is you can incorporate nature or certain aspects of nature that you love personally into your business that could be part of your branding. And I'll give you some examples, specific examples that I have in my business, just because again I love nature and I want it to be part of my business. So for example, my favorite color is green. I love green because nature has so many versions of it and there is so many shades and so on. Just truly my favorite color. So I incorporated green into my visual branding, and it evolved over time. At first I had more like a standing out green. Now it's more of an olive version of green, but it's part of my branding. Another thing is that when I am in nature and I let myself think and so on, I come up with, concepts for my coaching business, or come up with the ways I can explain things to my clients to make business simple that use nature. So just, in part one, when I explained you how to grow a thriving business on a tree, that was an idea that came to me at some point while being in nature. Another idea that came to me while hiking with my family another day was a diamond effect concept. So diamond effect, I have a podcast that's called like that, and my coaching group is called Diamond Effect, and it came from me not really being a lover of diamonds in terms of jewelry, but being a bit of a nature geek and walking and hiking and looking at rocks and realizing that diamonds are made of pure carbon, right? It's the hardest rock on earth. It's one that everybody gets attracted to, or if not everybody, many people get attracted to and want to have them, right? So they act like they shine and people come to them, and it's a very strong rock, but it's only made of carbon. The only thing is that the atoms of carbon are structured in a way, right? They're put together in very strong structure. Now, when you look at another rock that's graphite, so the rock that is in our pencils, it's very brittle, it's really unappealing. We use pencils, but you can use pens and we can kind of replace it. Nobody gets excited about pencils. But graphite is made also of carbon atoms. Same ingredient as diamonds, it's just the way they're put are different. So knowing that gave me an idea about the business, because all the businesses on this earth are built from kind of the same ingredients. There's strategy, there's marketing, there's sales, right? There is some business foundations that all businesses apply. And yet some of those businesses are able to put those foundational pieces together so strong that they become strong brands that attract the clients. So think Apple, think Starbucks, think maybe any other brand that you just love and keep coming to, and you're happy to spend your money with it, right? And there are some businesses in the same industries as the market leaders that use similar concepts in business, but they cannot put them together in a way that's so strong, right? They're brittle, people kind of buy and use, but they're easily go to other brands when they can, and so on. Okay, so that was my idea, to create this coaching concepts or the branding name for in my business, Diamond Effect. Okay, okay? Another thing, one last example that I can give you is when I was creating a journal for my clients, it's a high performance journal. I was working with a designer for cover and kind of how to get it in. And, I told her like I wanted something with my branding that goes along. So she sent me some ideas and I automatically gravitated. I didn't even think about it ahead of time, but when she sent me some ideas, I automatically gravitated to this tree, because I just love trees and nature. And down the line, for those of you who are maybe even more into nature than me or my meditation and yoga, this is the tree of life, which I didn't even realize when I picked it for the cover of my journal. So then that synchronicity, and things work for you even though you are not always intentional about them, because you're true to yourself, you're authentic, and you're incorporating what's important to you in your business. So I hope that after this session you can do the same. You can go out in nature, spend some time thinking about what's important to you, how you stand out, and come up with some creative ideas for your business, which is truly innovation. That's what it is. Innovation is creativity. It's forming ideas that are unique to you that nobody else will come up with. And that's how you attract your ideal clients. All right, part number 3 coming right up. Now let's talk about how to be a high-performing CEO or the leader of your business. And before we get into specifics, I just want to clarify what high performance means to me, or how I look at it as a coach and how I help my clients. Because I find that there are sometimes misconceptions. People think that high performance is about working more and doing more and stressing yourself out more, or overexerting because you're doing more, or working harder in order to create more results. For me, high performance is really operating at your highest potential as a human being, and of course, as a result, as the business owner. So you are thinking at your best, you have the best ideas, and those ideas lead to some great actions, especially when you feel at your best. So then the output and the results you create are the best you can. And that truly comes from looking at yourself as a holistic human being. And we'll talk about the 5 rules of high performance. But I just want to be clear that we all are on the same page in terms of understanding what that means. All right. So the first rule of high performance is radical responsibility. Taking 100% responsibility for the actions that you do every day, but also reactions to maybe things, people, events that you don't have control over, right? We might not have a control over the state of the economy and whether we are in the recession or not, but we have control of how we react to that situation, the decisions we make in terms of our business, and then the actions we take that come from those decisions, okay? And for that, I want to talk about 2 things. So as human beings, we all have our circle of concern and circle of influence within that. So circle of concern, or things that affect us, or things that we're interested in, like the economy, like the politics, like people around us, or whatever else, right? And then circle of influence is something that we can impact through our actions and reactions. So unfortunately, what a lot of people do, or non-high performance do, they really spend a lot of time and energy and either their minds and thoughts into the circle of concern. So meaning they watch a lot of news and they get upset or they feel down because of it. And what that does really, it makes us feel powerless and hopeless, because we know we cannot influence that, right? And the more we do it, the more powerless and hopeless we feel, and the less impact we make, okay? As opposed to if we focus on our circle of concern, that yes, might be smaller, but this is what we can impact, our influence will grow, and we will expand that to then, as a result, affect and change our circle of influence for the better. And the best example for it actually comes from the story that maybe everybody knows, Mahatma Gandhi in India, right? It was one single man who empowered his nation to stand up to the British Empire without having authority or legal power in the country, without having a lot of money, without having weapons or anything like that. And yet, because he focused on what he could do, like going from village to village and talking to people and spreading his message and spreading his love, right? Focusing on what he could do, circle of concern, rather than despairing about the situation, despairing about the lack of money, despairing about a lack of resources, right? His concern, circle of concern expanded, his influence expanded and started affecting his circle of concern, right? What he was interested in, what he cared about. So it's the same in your business. If you become super intentional with the actions you take, you align all your actions with your mission, vision, values, your clients, or your services, and so on, right? Like that tree, everything is aligned, then you'll create much faster results and more impact with those results, right? As opposed to when you're taking actions in your business that are random, they don't have really, there's no alignment with what you want to achieve. You're doing a lot of, things that maybe you heard from other people or because others are doing it, it works for them, but it's not coming from who you are. It's not coming from your inner wisdom, knowing like, hey, this is the right thing for me. Because I'm an authentic leader, because I have strong skill in business and I know what's work, what's not, and I know what's going to work for my business and so on, then the results you create are so much smaller and not as fast, right? So when you take 100% of responsibility, radical responsibility, and you're super intentional with your actions, but also reactions to things, you become a high performer, you operate at your highest level, and then as a result, your business does as well, right? You're reaching your full potential. And just one more thing before we move to, rule number 2 for high performance is that reactions to things that we can't control. You want to react in an intentional manner, right? You want to engage your executive, creative part of the brain and not the fight and flight response. And to do that, you need to feel grounded. You need to take time to respond, right? Not emotionally, not have like a jerk knee reactions to think that's happened. And this summit is definitely perfect for you to acquire some of those skills and tools like meditation, like journaling, like maybe any other things that you'll learn. Because when you do that, you always make better decisions, and the more and better decisions you make in your business, the fastest and the furthest you will progress. All right, let's move on to rule number 2. So rule number 2 is all about making decisions, because decisions create progress. And when we spin in indecisions, which sometimes shows up as a procrastination in your business, right? If you're procrastinating on something, that means you haven't truly made a decision about it. It makes us stuck. Indecision keeps us where we are. It prevents us from progressing and moving. So what type of decisions? As the high performing business owner, you want to make high value strategic decisions as opposed to low value decisions. Here is the difference. The low value decisions come from a place sometimes of scarcity, of fear, or non-confidence in what you think is the best for the business, right? Maybe like the best example I have is sometimes I see business owners or one of my clients come to me about their marketing. They come and they do, they want to grow their business, so they do some marketing activities, but they don't have a strategy. All they do is, pick up some ideas from friends, entrepreneurs, or from somebody maybe from the industry leaders and so on. And it's like a bunch of activities that they do that they're not even sure if they're right activities for them, because they haven't made them from the place of confidence of, okay, this activity this is the marketing strategy for my business, and within that strategy here are the activities, and I know they're right because I know what I'm all about, I know my ideal client, I know what they like, and so on, right? So when you decide on certain things that you're not sure of because it's just taken from opinions of others, then you're not sticking to your guns usually with those decisions. So what happens is, let's say you decided to market your business on TikTok because, again, you heard that it's great lately and that you can make more money or attract clients and so on. So you go on TikTok and you start marketing your business, but the results you're getting are not what you need, what you want, right? What you expected. So very often when that decision is not made from the place of confidence, you start blaming the platform to say like, hey, I don't think it works for me, right? I don't think TikTok is for me. I don't think it's one. And then you switch. So you change your decision. And now instead of TikTok, maybe you're going to Instagram. And again, you implement your strategy in terms of you start marketing your business on Instagram. You try, you don't see followers and so on. And you're like, oh, Instagram is not for me. I should try something else. So what happens in this cycle is that you still are not creating results you want. You're not learning because you're not taking responsibility for your actions. You're not taking 100% responsibility. You're blaming other circumstances, and you're missing what you could be doing wrong or not doing to the best of your ability to get the results that you want. Okay? Now, when you actually make a confident, high value decisions from the place of, I know this is the right strategy for me because I aligned it with everything I am in my business, I believe in, and so on. And I researched that, let's say this platform is 100% my ideal clients are there, and I have some other tactics that together I know they will work. When you go and implement, and let's say that also the first time around, let's say you make a campaign and you're marketing something, you don't get the results you want, you don't change the decision of being on Instagram, let's say, or you don't blame the Instagram for the results, but you start looking and evaluating and seeing, okay, I know Instagram is right, I know our strategy is right, but when we implemented, the results weren't there. What is it? Why? Maybe it was our messaging. Maybe it was my marketing skills that I need to improve because I don't really know anything about philosophy of marketing and sales. So no matter what platform I go to, if I don't have that foundation, my clients will not resonate with me. Maybe it's the way I speak to my clients. Maybe I speak to my clients in the language that they don't understand, that they don't relate to. So again, if I don't fix that, no matter the platform I go to, the results will be the same. So when you have a high value decision, it allows you to go back in the results of the execution of that decision and improve and make things better and better until you actually get the results you want. It's kind of like another example. If you ever learned how to bake maybe a souffle or some intricate cake, right? You picked a recipe that you know was right, that you know gave results, maybe from your grandma or from your mom or from your best friend, and you started baking a cake. And the first time you tried, it flopped. It didn't work the way you wanted. You didn't go and say, oh, the recipe is bad, I'm gonna change the recipe, right? You said, okay, it's probably because I've never done it before and I don't bake that often, let me perfect it and keep going. And then you tried the same recipe for 5 times until the cake came out perfect. That was a high value decision. You made it confidently, you stuck with it, and then you just figured out implementation of that decision, right? Until you got the results you want. Because no matter your skill and no matter how good we are, whenever we implement something for the very first time, usually we don't become the masters of that implementation the first time, right? Sometimes we need to try a few times. Even the best athletes in the world, when they try a new technique, they're not great at that technique the first time around. They need to try it over and over. And that's what high value decisions lead to. They lead to mastering of the skills, figuring out truly the root causes of maybe the results that of having the results that you didn't fully want, and getting to the point when you create exactly the results you want. And then you feel in charge of those results. You know exactly how to create them. So then it gives you even more confidence in your ability to grow your business. So that's what the high performers do. They focus on intentionally making high value decisions, and very rarely they change it, right? And that's even Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. That's a book, highly recommend if you haven't read it, say, right? Whereas people who are not high performing, who are not as successful, they're usually very slow in making decisions, but they're not confident in making them decisions, and very fast they change them, okay? Because they're not confident that that decision was right. High performers are quick in making decisions because they know where they're coming from, they're confident in it, and they're very slow in changing that decision because they usually know it's not the decision itself, but pseudo implementation that needs to be perfected. All right, let's move to high performance rule number 3. Okay, this one is all about your relationship with time and having a healthy relationship with time and looking at times in terms of investing it rather than spending. And the common theme here that you will see throughout the 5 high performance rules is intentionality. High performing leaders, they are very intentional in how they invest their energy and how they spend their time and really invest their time. And it doesn't mean that they invest all their time into their business, that they're working nonstop. It means that whatever they do, whether it's in their business, for their business, or whether it's in their personal life, it's intentional, and they're not wasting time for things that they didn't really intend. And I'll give you an example because, hey, I used to be like that, where in the past, and especially when I had a corporate career and it was very stressful and so on, I used to, in the evenings after dinners or, putting kids to bed and whatever, I used to just go on my couch and put on TV and really not even sometimes watch things, but spend time scrolling through, deciding what to watch, and ending up watching something I didn't enjoy and spending, let's say, an hour every afternoon or even longer, only to get more tired in the evening and only to get upset at myself that I just wasted an hour and so on watching something that I didn't like, instead of, for example, going to bed, right? When I actually started on the high performance journey, or I became a high performer, I realized that was a waste of time. It's not that watching TV is a waste of time, but watching mindlessly without intention is a waste of time. So as I changed my habits and became a high performer, I do not watch TV, for example, during the week that much. unless it's on vacation or whatever, I'd rather invest that time into going to bed early and getting proper rest, or listening to a book or reading a book and so on. And if I do want to watch TV, it's very intentional, where we have a family night, we pick a movie, we have popcorn, and we're enjoying ourselves as a family, right? So high performance are in charge of how they invest and spend their time. They never complain that they're busy, that they don't have time to do it all, because they don't do it all. They prioritize, they know what's important to them in their business and in their personal life, and they create time in order to spend their energy on those important things. Right? We can say that there are certain things that are important to us, but we don't have time and so on. But if we keep saying that we don't have time to do something, is that truly that important to us? Or is it just an excuse? Or is it the thing that maybe we think we should do, but truly we don't want to do? Okay? Because if we really want to do something, usually we can create time on demand. Like, think about maybe if you have a pet. Before you had a pet, your time was filled, right? Nobody sits there, especially as adults, with a lot of time to spare and thinks, I don't know what to do with my time, I'm so bored, right? Like, our time tends to fill itself. But then you might not have, like, before you had a pet, you might have thought, like, I don't have time to do anything, like, I'm busy and so on. And then you decided to have a pet, and just like that, because you were committed and that was important to you, you created time to take care of the pet, especially if it's a dog. You created time to walk the dog. You created time to wash the dog, to feed it, to get it to, the vet or whatever the case might be, right? So high-performing people do that. They do not waste time in a sense where they just spend time without intention, not knowing. They always know how they spend time. It's very intentional, whether it's they're resting, they're taking care of themselves, they're having fun with the family, or in their business. They're not busy working in their business on things that they don't need to work on at all. They're prioritizing on the most important things that are moving them the fastest, right? Moving them forward. And they know that they have enough time for everything that's important to them, and they can always create time when the need happens. So I invite you to think about it this way and see how maybe you are wasting time in your week, a time that you can claim back and use it, whether it's for self-care, whether it's to move your business forward, whether it's for some quality time with your family. All right, let's move on to rule number 4. So the fourth principle of high performance and highly performing CEOs is all about self-development. All the successful people are really learners and believe in growth and self-development. Now, they do it very strategically. That's why I call it strategic self-development. It's not about just learning, it's about what you learn and whether you apply it. As I said, when you think about your business and the roots, part of the root structure is your skills, right? So you, as a business owner, as the CEO, you need to invest in yourself and grow your skills. Part of it is in your skills to be able to maybe deliver a better service to your clients or improve the products if you're a product-based business. But also part of those skills, it's your business skills. Think about it this way. Investing in yourself as the CEO also benefits your clients. So let's say if your business becomes more efficient and your cost is down, or you have good onboarding for your clients, it's all business related rather than service delivery or product related, but it improves clients' experience. It allows you to be more competitive in the market, right? So skills are key. So how do you strategically self-develop yourself? First of all, you want to come from a place that is clear and aligned with your business strategy. Meaning you want to think about, okay, where do I want to take my business, let's say this year, and where do I want to take it in the next 2 to 3 years? And if I think about that, if I am a CEO, the business leader who already achieved my 3-year goal, okay, what skills do I have? How do I behave? How do I think in my business? And then you look at that future self, and then you look in the current self and determine where is the gap, right? Maybe I'm brand new and I don't really understand how marketing or sales work, and I really want to feel connected to my customers. I want to build fans, not just people who kind of decide to buy from me, but then the moment they find a different service or a different product, they switch, right? I want to have fans just like Apple has or Starbucks. So maybe I need to grow my skills there, right? Or in the future, I want to be a public speaker. I want to do trainings, live and workshops, and my public speaking skills could use some improvement, right? This is what I'm going to invest, or I will start investing. I will start the journey. So you want to pick the skills very strategically. Learning something just for the sake of learning, it's great, but it's just a hobby, right? And it doesn't really move you forward. So let's just say if you learn how to do funnels or how to run Facebook ads, but you're not ready in your business to do that, and you won't be ready for the next 3 years, that learning is not moving you forward, because in 3 years, the algorithm will change, the way the Facebook runs its ads will change, the funnels, the technology will change, right? Technology changes super quick. So learning something now that you will use 5 years from now, especially when it will change, it's not useful. You want to learn the skills that are, even if you use them powerfully in 2 years, but if you learn them now, they will start producing the results now and in the future, okay? Another part of strategic self-development is application and not just consumption. I was just talking today to one of my community members and so on, and she said, I love to learn. I actually learn sometimes too much. I'm not applying. And I think a lot of us can fall into that trap or need to watch that. And why is this? Because through our schooling system, we've been conditioned that learning means results. So our brain has that shortcut, that bias that means, okay, if I learn something, I used to get grades, right? The teachers would grade my learning and say, yep, that's great. You got the results of a note or assessment or whatever, and then you moved on to learning something new. But that's not in business. Having a lot of knowledge in our brain that you don't use, it's not power. Knowledge is power only if you use it. So it's better to learn less and then apply it through the high value decision cycle, so that knowledge turns into skill, and you using that skill in doing turns into results, than read 100 books a year and not implement anything out of them. Okay? One more thing about application is that you want to go deep in your skills. You want to master those skills to the level that will serve you really well. So again, yes, there might be skills that you don't necessarily need to master. Like, for example, I don't know, maybe bookkeeping, right? As a business owner, maybe you start doing your own bookkeeping in the beginning because you don't have a lot of resources. But down the line, as you make more money, your business gets more complex, you don't want to be spending your time putting in your expenses and bookkeeping and so on. You want to outsource that, right? So your skills in bookkeeping don't have to reach the mastery. You want to understand the numbers, and you want to not be scared of talking about money and understanding that. So then when you talk to your bookkeeper or your CFO, you understand what they're talking about, and as the owner, you can make empowered decisions but you don't need to be an expert in bookkeeping. However, there are some things that you want to acquire as much expertise as possible so you can make better decisions in your business. And that's like branding or marketing or sales, because even if you outsource those things at some point, you want to tell the people that work for you how to talk to your clients, what your brand is all about, how do you want your customers to see your brand and so on. And if you don't have any skills in that, that can be very difficult to do, right? And that strategic self-development also applies to other areas of your self-development, whether they're personal, whether they're, again, more into your type of industry and what you do and so on. Be strategic and apply and go deep. Now, last part or last principle of the high-performing CEO. The fifth principle of the high-performing CEO is really all about you remembering that you're a holistic human being. That in order for you to think at your highest level, to operate at your highest level, to be the most productive in the time that you decided to spend in your business and create the best output, is you need to feel at your best, right? So think about it this way. If your personal relationships suffer and your mind is preoccupied there and it causes you a lot of stress, inevitably that will trickle through into your business, right? If we're worried about our personal relationships, it's very hard to focus and think creatively in your business and be effective and move through the day, right? Effectively. If we're tired, our body doesn't function well because we're tired, or because we're not eating well, or because of whatever, right? We're sick, and God forbid, badly, but like even with the flu, right? Then of course our mind doesn't operate at the same level. It's very hard to give it, like your 100% on days like that are not your 100% on a day where you've rested well and you had very nutritious food and everything is going well, right? So you want to look at yourself holistically, and you want to make sure that you do create that harmony and balance in how you operate in all the levels: your mind, your body, your soul, right? Your relationships, your personal life, your finances, your business. And it doesn't mean, achieving a balance, it doesn't mean that you have to spend the equal amount of time every day in all those areas. It's more being aware and looking on the regular basis, maybe once every 6 months or every quarter, once every year, in those areas that you can see on the slide, and think about which ones need a little bit more attention from me for the, let's say, next 3 months, and which ones are good or good enough for now that I'm just going to maintain, right? So for example, let's say that you are really good with staying active in your nutrition, but maybe spirituality has gone to like a second priority, and you start to feel a lack in that area, right? Your body or your mind or your soul and your heart are telling you you need a little bit more. So let's say for a month or a quarter, you'll start putting more intention and attention to that, and maybe developing some good habits in terms of your spirituality, right? So adding to your physical activity habits and adding some spirituality, right? And then once you get there and you get to a certain level, when we develop good habits, they become automated. They just become part of what we do and who you are. And then it's easy to add on next things, right? So maybe that's your focus for the next month or 3 months. But then once you have that under control and you're feeling good, the level of spirituality you accomplish is satisfactory right now, then maybe the next 3 months or the next 6 months, you focus on your business, and maybe there's a cleanup that needs to be done, and there is more intention there, right? So that's what I mean if looking at things holistically, right? Or if you're a brand new business owner and you're moving your business from the ground and you're like, okay, for the next year, I really need to focus in my business and be more intentional and so on. It doesn't mean you neglect the other areas of your life, because that's not gonna, help you. But if you maintain what you're doing, as long as it's satisfactory to you right now, that's called balance, or that's how I perceive balance and harmony. All right. So when you do that, when you become a highly performing CEO and you take radical responsibility and you make high value decisions in your business but also in your personal life, and you develop yourself strategically, you have a good relationship with time, and you're the one in charge, and you create it on demand, and you focus on the most important things in your business and in your life, and you think and you treat yourself as a holistic human being and really take care of yourself, because you are your biggest asset, right? Without you, there is no business. Then you create a business that's truly thriving and achieving its full potential. Then really your income level is limitless, because if you keep growing as its leader and improving also the quality of your life, your business will keep growing. There's no limit. The only limits in business are the ones you set with your mind or you decide on. Okay? You also feel really fulfilled and happy, right? When we incorporate business into our life, just like in nature, right? Everything is balanced in nature. The nature provides, there is an abundance of everything always for everybody. If we don't deplete and we don't steal and so on in balance, you can create that kind of nature inspired balance in your life with your business in it. And trust me, it feels so amazing. And sometimes we underestimate the results of just feeling good and being fulfilled every day and being proud of yourself and confident in how you live and how you run your business. But for me, that's invaluable. Okay? When you have a great relationship with time, you become so much more effective and productive. Like, you really compound the wealth of your life. So I invite you to do that. I invite you to embrace the high performance and use the nature to your advantage. Use the nature to be more creative, more calm, more grounded. Maybe incorporate that in your business, right? So you have a business that's authentic to you, that's unique to you, that your ideal clients will come because of it, not because you're trying to be somebody else. So that's it for today. And thank you for your attention. I really appreciate you spend the last few minutes with me. I encourage you to implement what you learn, not just take it and keep it in your brain, but never implement it. And if you have any questions, or if you would like to get in touch with me, you can do that through my website, stairwaytoleadership.com. So one word, stairwaytoleadership.com. Or you can find me in my podcast, Diamond Effect. The podcast is available on any platform you want. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye.